Okay, YouTube. This is a little video on a manual, if you want to call it, or small book. It's called 6 Ways In and 12 Ways Out. It's the Survival and Evasion Manual of the United States Rescue and Special Operations Group. The author is George Jasper, and it's an interesting book. It's got some really good things in it, some things that if you're in the survival mindset, or if you're planning for a bug out situation, or even if a type of book that you can read if you go on a camping trip and you get lost, or any other kind of scenario, or shit hits the fan scenario. This is definitely a good book to have. Now, a YouTuber, Enviro Responsible, did a review on it, and it's a really good review. And now, from his video, the book that he has is a little bit bigger. Now, I'm going to give you a sort of a hand comparison. Now, this one is a little smaller. I think that they made it smaller so that you could put it in your bug out bag, which I intend to do. Now, with this book, like I said, you can put it in your bug out bag, but I would definitely read it ahead of time, maybe even once or twice. It's got so much useful information in there. It obviously is way too much information to cover in this small video, but I just wanted to kind of make this as a recommendation, for this book. There's a lot of books out there, but this is really like the meat and gravy of it, if you want to call it. Meat and potatoes, excuse me. It's actually kind of good. It talks about the rules, or the rule of 3, which I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with, which is 3 minutes without air, 3 minutes, or you can't survive 3 minutes without air, or you can't survive with 3 hours, or for 3 hours without shelter. I'm sure that's in a a cold environment, or maybe maybe a very hot environment. Also, there's 3 days without water, and that's a real key one. If you're somewhere and you don't have water, and on that third, fourth day, you're not going to be doing very well. And then also 3 weeks without food, and believe it or not, yeah, you can make it a long time without food. I got a little extra that maybe I can, that my body can probably metabolize off. So, well, anyway, I got this book, or manual, I'm going to call it, from usrsog.org. It was like $15. You send them a check with a I guess it's just I think I just sent them a check, and anyway, and it was, like I said, it was like $15. I'm getting attacked by bugs here. And actually, that's funny. It talks about, in this book, it talks about some of the bugs in there, ticks, and things like that, and how don't underestimate things like that, like ticks. And where I live, ticks are really bad, deer ticks anyway. So look, in here he talks about fire making, shelter making. He's got in here about bags, what he calls a doomsday ruck bag, which is a bug out bag. It goes over knives, goes over guns, like an emergency gun to keep with you, or like a bug out gun. He talks about medical bags. It talks about his personal EDC, or everyday carry. He also has like a survival strategy in there, and it's really survival spelt out, SURVIVAL, and to try to keep this in your mind when you're in a situation, which is, and I'll read it off here for you. It's size up the situation, and under waste makes waste. Remember who you are. Vanquish all fears. I like that one. Vanquish all fears is very important. Improvise. Value living. If you're in a really bad situation, you know, value living. I think, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie 127 Hours, where the guy cuts off his arm. I would say he valued living, you know, cut off his arm, he valued living. So and then act like the natives. You would have to know a little bit more about the area that you're in and learn basic skills, which is, you know, I think everybody here that's in that survival prepping community is doing. You know, it's really interesting in the book here. He at the very front here, he talks about watching the movie The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin, and so it's interesting to see what he says about it. But when I'm going to read you a little blurb here. Obviously, he says that, you know, the I don't know if you know the movie. You should maybe rent it and take a look at it. One of the guys has a survival book, and but it's really not a good one. And but the author's take on it is that they probably wouldn't have survived based on the information that they gave in the movie. Of course, it's only Hollywood. But anyway, when your world turns to manure and mushrooms, the author hopes that you will keep your head, demonstrate a blue steel rod-like intestinal fortitude, and execute your field craft like a well-trained expert. If you fail to do that, at least try to leave a good-looking corpse. Now, isn't that funny? Well, anyway, so look, just a quick look at a book that I think people should get. And real quick, like I said, the Enviro Responsible did a pretty good review on it. This particular author that wrote this book, I think he actually trains you know, some of the special forces folks out there. So this is a book. It's very encompassing, covers a lot of things that other books do not. So if you can pick it up, I would recommend it. Hey, thanks for watching, YouTube.